Box live stream. It's Monday night, Medium Project Monday. A little further away from the camera tonight. We're going to be doing a little something different. Well, we've done coiling before, but we're going to end up doing some coiling tonight. Hope everybody had a good week, good weekend. We didn't get a stream last week. I had stomach issues for most of the week. Finally started feeling better this weekend, so that's good. Got some things going on, got some things caught up, so worked on the jelly cube, or the wormhole cube. I've got it done. I've done a striped version. Still got a little more playing around with this one to do. There are some things I like about it. I am noticing, well, I always knew that anodized aluminum is always different. Normally, it seemed like it was always smaller, but it seems like here lately it's always larger now. So it's kind of throwing some things off. So I got a little bit, it's not bad. I mean, if you look at it, it's got a little play, but not much. I mean, but more compared to what the bright aluminum version does. I mean, there's very little play in this one. Came out really nice. So got the tutorial about done. I made a post yesterday about it. That I had 2 more pages to do, but that was really on that section. I always have like the cover page and the intro area. Then we get into sections on how we're going to do it. This one comes in 3 sections. I'm finishing off the second section. Third section shouldn't be too long anyway. Should be fairly easy. But I mean, there's a lot of little bits. I'm trying to put most of it in there. I'm kind of, doing the best I can. I'm not real up on tutorials, so, I'm doing what I can with it. There's a few parts that are a little hard. But anyway, got a lot of it done. I worked on that most of today. And then I was like, well, I wanted to put some kits together. Plus, I needed some other ring sizes for some other projects I'm working on. Trial and error things. And I was running low on some sizes. And then other sizes I needed some more so I could do some kits for the wormhole cubes. So tonight we're just going to end up doing some coiling. I coiled up the last 3-4 hours. I pulled out my cart with everything on it. It's got my coiler and my ringinator on it. I'll just turn it around when I need to use the ringinator side. Well, normally it's out in the middle of the floor here where I have more room. But for doing the stream night, I was like, I could put all this up to do that, but I really wanted to get everything coiled up tonight so I can just start tomorrow, get into cutting all these up tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon I can get into doing some laser work. So, figured we'll just go ahead and do it tonight and get some coiling going. So, first things first here, I'm going to need to change, where do I need to change here? Camera angles. I will be getting up a lot more and moving around. I'm probably not going to be sitting at all tonight. Let's see here. Is that the view I want? Yeah, I believe that's going to be the one. Move my chair. And hopefully I'll catch any comments. I'll be moving around like I said, so hopefully I'll catch things. And it will be a little loud here on occasion when I'm got the drill going. Hopefully my drill will make it through tonight. I know my drill is getting going bad. It was smoking on me, a couple weeks ago when I was doing some stainless. So I know it's getting to the point of I have to replace it, and I already have a replacement drill that I bought for it ready to go when this one went bad. So, alright, like I said, if you do have volumes going at any point in time, you might want to turn down a little bit when we were using the drill, so it might get a little loud. Holding on to it as it's going up, if you've seen that. One reason is I I used a CNC type bearing rollers for my guide for my drill here, and it rolls very smoothly. And it's almost too smooth. When I looked at people that had done some, and they'd use shelf, drawer holes and stuff, they didn't seem real smooth. I want something smoother. I came across this. It was actually cheaper at the time, so I went with it. But it's actually too smooth. My old setup, it was basically on this, but I had it jacked up a little bit in front, so the weight of the drill had to pull itself up the incline. When I made it and put it on the cart, totally forgot about doing that. And so being level, it wants to take off, and the coils can start separating if I'm not careful with it, so I have to put my hand on it and kind of give it some extra weight to pull along. So real quick though, I did forget to just get the music going, even though you won't hear the music much probably, but we got it going. Alright. I don't know how many coils here we're going to do, probably 15-ish. I'll start out a little slower to get it going, so I have less cut off. Once it's going, it's normally good. Unless I let off my hand, and like I said, it go real fast, and the coils can get real far apart. Eventually, when I get a permanent setup for this, I want to, I'm going to have 4 foot rods that I'll be using so I can make longer coils anyway. But it'll be a totally kind of a different setup. Let me pull that up high enough. And then I can do bigger coils, which I'd love to do. It's just not really physically capable of doing it with everything I have currently. Dude, am I getting a lot of feedback somewhere? Sorry if I get in view here at times. Like I said, I'm kind of moving around. Okay, that's me. I was getting feedback for something. Alright, here we go again. There is some time in doing coils, but basically I can make anything I want whenever I need it if I've got the wire. One thing I can't do is basically anodized aluminum, which kind of blows, but is what it is. These are what I did earlier. Trying to make sure I get in the view. I've got this stack. I've got this stack. I got 3 other actual stacks in the other room. I've taken them and I was cleaning up my ends. I forgot to bring them back. And 16 gauge. Then I moved over to 18 gauge. That's what I'm working on now. Got 1 stack of those done right now. We're working on this size. I've got 2 more sizes I'm going to do before I close out for the night. Hopefully I can get them all filled up tonight and get this set up for cutting for morning time. Won't have to worry about taking time in the morning to set up for that, hopefully. We'll see how tonight goes. But each one of these coils in 18 gauges give me about, 275, 280 rings per coil. Some things that I would like to change of this setup, but it's currently working, so if it's working, I almost don't want to mess with it, kind of thing. I think some things that would help improve it. That's why I'd almost rather just wait till I can build the kind of built-in full-scale model. I didn't get that high enough. But this one does the job. I can roll this cart away, I can take it outside, I can do many things with it when it's on this cart, so it is kind of nice in a way. It has its pluses. So what I figured up, I actually coiled up enough 16 gauge that I basically got 4,000 rings in 5 different sizes. So I got 20,000 rings there. I don't know where I'll be at the end of this one yet. When I get done doing the 18 gauge, we'll see. Come on, get in your groove. And I was actually I needed actually 2 more sizes. I don't need them for the kits or anything, but I got 2 other sizes of 16 gauge that I want to do. And the only reason I didn't do them is because I ran out of wire. I have another box. I just didn't feel like dragging it out and opening a new box for just that little bit of something that wasn't necessarily needed right now. So. Yeah, never mind. Flip off there. You got tangled on itself. Happens on occasion. If I was trying to hurry it along, I should have been a little more patient with it. That's one of the other reasons why I'd like to have a bigger setup and do longer coils. One, I could do a lot more in a lot less time with longer coils. And when it comes to actually putting them through the ringinator, it's actually easier that way too when you have longer coils for the ringinator. Less time having to feed in when you get to the end of one. You got to butt up one to feed it through, continuing. If they're longer, the ultimate would be to figure out how to make an unlimited coil. Some machine that could coil, send it through, cut into a tumbler, wash, clean, and then you'd have to have probably some manual area for a final tumbling, but I can see it saving a lot of time for manufacturing. Come on, keep going. Yeah, like I said, this drill was smoking on me a couple weeks ago. I'd stop and you'd literally see smoke coming out of the holes right there. It was kind of funny. I actually thought I was going to toast it then, but it kept kicking. I mean, I already knew I had the other drill, so if it died, it wasn't that big of a thing. I knew, it's always struggled on thicker stuff like bronze, stainless, things like that. So that's why I bought the other drill and have it ready as a backup. I didn't necessarily want to kill it, but I was trying to kill it in a way. But it keeps going, and with aluminum, I do up to the 16 gauge, no problem in aluminum. It just keeps going, so. Smells warm at times, I will say that. So yeah, we'll be cutting up quite a few rings tomorrow. I don't know where we'll be at the end, but I'm imagining, let's see, if they've already got 40 there, probably going to end up cutting about 80,000 rings, possibly by the time I'm done. We'll see. And I only do this setup when I'm doing a lot of rings. If I'm doing testing of things, I run small things. I'll use my Pepe cutter. Sometimes I'll just hand cut them, just to see if that side's going to work. If it might work, then I'll do a small batch on the Pepe tool cutter. Once I find out for sure those going to work and I need more, then I'll put them through this and Ringinator. Because it is a process to do all this. It's not bad, but I've streamlined it through the years. There's West Coast chainmail. He's got a nice setup. He's got an auto shut off and stuff for his guide. Pretty nice little thing. And he's it was his and Animal King, somebody else's. I kind of looked at all their kind of things that they were doing for design. Overall, this has worked. The first one I did wasn't real great. It was kind of working. This one started working better. And actually did work a little bit better on the old setup. It was on the old table than it was hijacked. Or, this end was tilted up. But, like I said, he gets the job done, so that's all that matters. All their setup too. Animal had his on a nice little table that you can no longer get, and I thought about trying to do that. But we just do what we do. Normally I do try to do it in a process where I know I'm going to be doing this or that at a certain time and just try to work it all into one. A little too much that time. I'm going to give that a quick cut. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get started. Sometimes I have to cut off a little extra because of the start. It just depends. Need this kind of setup. You can actually just chuck one of these bars in a drill and do it by hand, and I have done that before. And I know several people that still do it that way. I just feel a little uncomfortable doing it that way. I've had some close mishaps. Luckily nothing major, but I've had a few close calls that kind of had me concerned. So I'm prone to have crazy things happen, so I'd rather just play it safe. Or I could go the old style where you buy your bar and make a bend on it, put it through 2x4s, and hand crank it. I've done that before too. Like I said, we're just going to keep doing this. I forgot the camera. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot I had on the scene switcher. Let's turn that off. And get back over to... is it? Yeah, top cam, I believe. Had my shoulder in the way. Yeah, I forgot I had on the scene switcher. What time is it anyway? So we're only 20 minutes in. Cool. See, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So that takes us up to about, what? Almost 4,000. So I want to do a few more, minimum, before we move on to the next size. Come on. Come on, get through the slot. Why give me such problems, man? There, jeez. That's the other thing when I want to redo it. This platform was actually made for two drills ago. I've gone through two drills since I've started quiddling about this way. They've all been cheap drills, so I can't blame the drill. And I do push them. Find out if a better, more expensive drill will work better or not. Like I said, all my others were these Drill Master things, I think is what they're called, from Harbor Freight. And they do great for normal things around the house. I don't have a problem with Harbor Freight tools. And doing what I'm doing, I'm pushing them. I mean, all the torque I'm needing to put on these things to coil up wire is really pushing their limits. So I mean, I don't blame tool. I'm pushing them pretty extreme, I think. So, but the new one I got is a nice DeWalt. I hope it's going to be better. That's why I got it. Hopefully it'll last longer, give me better torque. If it doesn't last as long, I'll just go back to these. Normally you can get them pretty cheap, like 25, 24 bucks. You know, they give me a year's worth of service. Several 100,000 rings. Can't pass it up, really. My Black & Decker one I have on my Ringinator, though, I've had that thing, the drill, for 4 or 5 years before I even got the Ringinator. And it's been attached to the Ringinator for the past 5 years, 6 years, so. I was talking about this platform it's on. Now I have used these cheaper drills, but each one has been different through the years, how it attaches. So this one didn't really want to attach to my platform as easily as the other ones. So it's a little loose on there too. Why another reason why I have to hold it to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Especially when I'm doing, well, and the other thing that's going on with this, if I'm doing anything like a 16 gauge aluminum, it just started doing that on the aluminum. It's always been on stainless and brass. When you coil in it and you turn off the power, there's not enough oomph in the motor to keep it from wanting to backstep itself. So I have to grab the chuck and hold it while I do the snap. Because when you let it uncoil slowly like that, I don't have it out. I've done it twice when I first started coiling, and I kept them as an example. It does a little weirdness to the coil itself. More pronounced in stainless steel, but that was the other thing that this one's got a problem with. In the 18 gauge, it's not wanting to, it'll stop and it doesn't backtrack. But anything thicker, when you got more tension on it, it does want to backfill. So that's the other problem this one's giving me right now, too. Have any of these coiled up at all when we started this stream, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I was like, I got to about 6:30, an hour before the stream, and I thought about, well, I got time, let me do some more coiling. I was like, no, I don't want to Uh, not necessarily run out, but it goes by somewhat quickly. We're up, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 of them now. So we're up to about 3,600. Actually, almost up to 4,000. A little over 4,000. Big and bath numbers, I can't calculate them right this second. The proper way. This one I'm a little worried about. Start slow enough, maybe a little crooked at first, but straightened out. That's the thing, gotta get started good. Once you get a good start, the coil's good. Start bad, the coil could be bad. And one of the other reasons why I wanted to go to this too, when I was hand coiling, you can only put so much tension on the wire as you're coiling, and this gives you a much steadier turn, and when you're hand coiling it, I couldn't put a braking system on my coil down below. Now I have coiling a little braking system on. I have a better idea of how I want to make a better one using brake pads from like a bicycle. But I always like something to hold on to my main coil down there, because throughout a coil I've noticed we're only talking hundredths of an inch here, but it can change, what you're working on sometimes, especially if it's very, very sensitive, like this thing is. Being everything the same size rings, and it can just throw things off a little bit. So when you have I like this system because I have the constant pressures on my coil coming up, my wire. I normally keep within the same speed area. If I go faster, I notice it kind of changes, again, minute things, or if I go slower. Or if I coil it around my wheels here differently, I will get a different tension on it. If I go the other way than I'm currently right now, it'll be a lighter tension. I will do that if I'm using like 20 gauge or anything, if I'm making a ton of 20 gauge. Most of the time I'll just do that by hand anyway, but if I don't do it on here, I don't need nearly as much tension on 20 gauge or lower, so I'll coil it on my wheels the other way, and it gives me less tension that way. More consistency, I think. Honesty, it could all be in my head too. What I think is happening might not happen. I'm not a scientist. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I want to do about 15. Let me do some quick math here. Grab a calculator. Let's see, what did I say, 16? Come on, calculator, open up. Calculator doesn't want to open up. Figures, I don't want it. I don't understand why it wouldn't open. Well, now we've got a bunch of calculators. Okay, I said 16 times 375 is the low side. So we're at 6,000 rings right now. In this bunch, that's probably good. Let's see, I wonder how much we got weighed here. Not exact weight, but it has been giving me basic ideas. So we're about 10 ounces, almost 11 ounces, rough. $6,000. And this is actually a size that I don't need for anything, but I don't have. I've made some small runs of it at times, but this one I don't actually have, so I think I'm going to get 16. Let's go ahead and let's make it 20. Got an even number count on rings, but let's go ahead and do 20 coils. That's what I've been doing a lot of here in the 16 gauge. Because in the 16 gauge on a coil, I get about 200 rings. The 18 gauge gives me about 275. So that's how I got 4,000. I just did 20 coils on all my other sizes in 16 gauge. Make sure your hand's not on the coil when you go to cut it, when it releases all that tension. That's the other thing. I've seen the aftermath. I haven't actually seen anybody do something with coiling and cut themselves, but I've seen aftermath. Somebody saying, "Hey, I was pulling this up and this broke, blah, 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 I did this." But here's the aftermath. I'm like, I do not want none of that happening to me, man. And it is, when you're coiling, man, it can get a little dangerous. If you're doing certain lengths, and they get to the end, those ends, if you're not careful, can go spinning back. And if you lose that tension, they want to uncoil. So they're just spinning 100 miles an hour back at you, So they can be a little dangerous. Even this setup's not, safe. Not OSHA safe, for sure. It went backwards on me. Just let it break off. So normally what I do is just, when I see it going backwards, just let it finish up going backwards, let it break off itself, clean it up, start over. Better than trying to get in there and screw with it and make it go right and end up screwing yourself. Don't want that. See, halfway through there is where I kind of gave up a little pressure on holding the drill, and it loosened up that coil just a bit right in there. That's not much. If it got any bigger than that, I'd probably have to cut that part out, because when they start expanding like that, when you go to cut them, they're going to be slightly bigger. And I wonder if that's what happens, because they have to take one of these coils when they anodize them and stretch it out. They got to pull it apart so there's gaps in between it. Now, I don't know how far they have to pull it apart. If just enough, so they're not touching, I don't know. But even that, and then you're running electricity through it. So, there could be many things that change it up when it goes through anodizing and on why it changes size. Just things that I've noticed through everything I've done through the years. Like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable. There's a lot more people out there that know a lot more than me on this stuff, but I just try to constantly keep learning. I might be 50, but never too old to learn. What's that big two? I forgot to count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. This will be 19. One more. So that's the other thing. If I redesign this, I want to have something. I don't know if I can find smaller pulleys. That's one thing I'd like to find. These are just kind of generic nylon things. I'd like to find something that is more made. I like the nylon because it's not going to scratch anything up, but I almost want metal because they're going to have a lot less wear on them. And then I can get smaller tolerances, so I can have less because this is a big gap in here for using wire. I mean, I'd have to use 3/16" wire thickness to fill in that cavity there. So I've got a few ideas I want to change up on that would help even the start up of this. And you never know, the ideas might work, they might not work. I don't know. That's the thing, is sometimes you'll never know. Okay, where are we at on our time? 36 minutes. Let's see. So that would have given me, trying to calculate math in my head here. Grab my drink real quick. Like I said, a few of these sizes are for other things, some just to have, because I like to have extra rings whenever I try something new. I just like to have them. Did those, got those, so I guess let's just continue on to the next size here. I only want to do 5 of these because I have a lot. It is needed for the kits that I'll be doing, but I do already have quite a bit, so this is just adding to it. 5 would give me, oh, I forgot about the big bug in here tonight. I wonder, yeah, we're on that camera. Since this camera's more mobile tonight, let me see if I can get up here and get a picture of it. Where's he at? He's over that way. I need to turn this one. Is that him? Oh, there we go. It's like a grasshopper thing or something. They've been roaming in here today. About the past 5 or 6 hours, he's been walking over my head while I've been working. In a way, it drives me a little bonkers, to be honest with you. Alright, back over here. Let's get back to what we were working. We were right in that general area, right? Uh-oh. Moving the camera around too much, doesn't like my connection point. Alright, let's see if that's good. I think we're further out than we were. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're just goofing around like we always do, right? Let's put it right in there, I guess. Alright, get back to here. Let's see. Got all those. I could go ahead and cut them up and clean them real quick. Let me go ahead and pull my chair up here, I guess. Before we go on, I'll just go ahead and give these a quick clean. Pull in my junk bucket. Got a little junk bucket in there for clippings. If I make it in the junk bucket. A lot of times I will miss. I have a nice little stuff all over the floor I'll have to clean up. Let me go ahead and also move my camera. Here. Now see, we want to go to the ugly face cam. No, that's what we're on. I moved ugly face cam. Okay, so yeah, I was right. So we'll go to this one for a few minutes while I'm doing some clipping. Cleaning up these, and before we move on to the next one, I can get these rubber banded up, and I like to do that. Excuse me. Keep them separate so they don't roll together, especially when I'm going to be doing. No, this size is somewhat close to the last size before it. As I'm working with 30 seconds, I've got mandrels from 1/2 inch down to 3/32. I've got them in all the basic sizes. Then I've got them in the 16ths. And I've got half of the 32nds and half of the 64ths. So now, granted, I don't use those others very often. On occasion I will, but most of the time I don't want to. I try to keep them within what the sizes that I can get anodized aluminum, because I work more in anodized aluminum when it comes to colored stuff, or the majority of my things. I'd like to get it into anodizing niobium and titanium and doing that, but if it's something I make up in aluminum, I want to make sure if it's something that's going to be cool, somebody might like it, might want to do a tutorial or something. I want to be able to do something I can redo. So I normally would try to make sure it's going to work in those sizes. So there are a lot of out there though that do require odd sizes and basic, bright aluminum and everything, which is all good and all that, but this one might take down a couple. Start off a little bad. But yeah, I'll just clean these up and I don't have to worry about it, because we're going to go down a minute size. We're going down a 32nd for the next size that we're going to do. So, not mentioning sizes, not necessarily because of any reason, but I'm just making rings tonight. We're coiling rings. I'm not going to show, and I'm probably not going to set up any video to do any video for doing the actual cutting of them. I have done that in the past before, but I don't plan on doing it for this. Be quicker. I don't have to worry about that. Like I said, if I can get all this coiled up tonight, I guess I'm going to end up pulling about another at least 18,000 rings before I call it quits tonight. But I do need to get it done before a certain time. When people want to start going to bed, I can't be coiling. So I'd like to live out in the country and then have a shop that's, on the other side of the property that I can drive a golf cart to or something whenever I feel like working, and not have to worry about causing noise for the family. Most of the time it's not a big thing. Wife's like, Eventually, like I said, want to do garage. We kind of passed on the garage just because of how expensive it was going to cost. It'd be lovely to have, don't get me wrong. But the price to do it, everything that we need to do, is just insane. It's like, So, I think what we're going to do, I've been looking into doing shipping containers. They're fairly cheap, can get them shipped to you pretty decently. Decent enough size that I can at least hold my stuff and more easily work with things. Like I said, that's always been my biggest problem doing anything around here. So I'm afraid to get started in anything because I have nowhere to put anything if I can't finish that at that point in time. Especially when it comes to woodworking, got to do it all outside, and then it's to get everything out to even do it, it's a couple hour process. Knowing at the end of whatever I'm doing, I have to spend that same time putting things up. It's a chore. So I think that's going to be more in our budget, and I think I can do some designing inside one that would give me decently workable areas. But again, more so, it'd just be easy to put things up compared to how it is now. So it would be a plus. It would, garage would be the best thing, but gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, we're not making money. We survive on. Wife is now retired, disability retired. She didn't want to retire, and then I do this as a business, so this is how we pull in our money. So, order away. Promoting myself here, and it's a little weird feeling. But I guess I do need to. Keep in mind too the laser stuff. I know I love my chainmail, but I do enjoy the laser stuff too. And it is more of a side thing compared to my chainmail. But I'm learning as I go, getting and adding new things. I've got quite a bit of product already tumblers of many different sizes, coins, lighters, glass mugs, change holders. I'm going to have to pull out one of these days and show everything, because there's stuff that I still don't even have anything etched on them yet to take pictures of to show them off. Part of it is everything I do, it ends up being three things. It's either going to be Chiefs, it's going to be the Booga box, or it's going to be the Tonka band. Those are the three things normally that I go to. And I'm kind of, in a way, I do get a little tired doing the same thing over and over again. So that's kind of one reason why I put it off. I'm trying to find some new things to do, and that's why I like getting input from people, letting me know ideas, give me some thoughts. What you guys, And when it comes to laser stuff, same thing. If you got ideas, something I might not even have in stock yet, if it's something that I think I could stock, its cost analysis is good enough to bring it on board, Sometimes I might only get a few things. There's a few things I have I probably won't get any more of. But I want to put stuff on them and sell them, but I don't want to put random stuff on it because, again, unless I put something Chiefs or something on it, who knows. Alright, so, like I said, these are all done. Let me grab a couple rubber bands. And then we will change out our rod, what do they call those again? I just said it a minute ago. Yeah. That thing, right? We'll get down to our next size and we'll go ahead and start getting started on some of those. Hopefully that's not going to be too tight. Okay. I don't want to be super tight, just more hold them together so I can easily move them around while I'm doing stuff. First, years ago, I was just coiling, I was putting different sizes and laying them out. They all started rolling together. I was trying to stack them up. Next thing I knew, I just had a mess of stuff. Granted, at the time, I was only had my main sizes, so they're somewhat easily distinguishable between each other. But nowadays, with some of the 64s in 30 seconds, if you're going 111, you're just going up in the small gauges and doing your coils. Yeah, you can still find them and tell the differences between them, but it is kind of a pain in the butt, so. Alright, so yeah, like I said, you probably won't be able to see much of a difference there if the camera can even pick up the difference. Not a big, there's actually one in between these that I have, but I didn't want to quite go that extreme. Right now, anyway, I will eventually. I've made up some of that size before, but a lot of those that I made in some of the odder sizes, I did them with the Pepe tool, so I was making 6-inch little coils, so I was only making, I think, maybe 100 rings at a time. So. Okay, I think I widened this out. Ooh, maybe not. Oh, this one I think I did. A few of these I had to widen out the groove because they were just too small. There's a few that I still need to do that with because when I did them the other way, the small batches with the Pepe tool, I used different mandrels. Hey, there's that word I was looking for a minute ago, mandrel. Oh, come on. Now, this one's still going to give me a little bit of a problem by the looks of it. Oh, jeez. Alright, I'll just flip you off if you want to do that way. Alright, how many of these I say I needed? Yeah, this one I didn't need much with. I was saying 5 by, let's see, if I go 300, I need 1,500. Maybe I should go with 10. The more I think about it. Oh, you go, there you go. something I did forget to say at the beginning was don't forget to give those likes, shares, thumbs ups, all that good thing. I'm well past my halfway point also, so I kind of missed that one. So, and it looks like I'm about 10 minutes left of the stream tonight. I could go a little longer. Cats are going to actually be put off a little bit later tonight than usual. They had a late start this morning. Everything was late this morning. So, but we'll see how it goes. See where we're at. We'll get at least, like I said, we're going to do at least 10 of these. I could feel it. I was like, do I want it? Do I want it? No, let's just go with it. Smaller I get, the harder they get in there. That's why it's like the others I had to definitely play with more than I did on this one. But I can tell that I played a little bit with the groove on it. They didn't send it with a big enough groove when I got these mandrels. And that's why I'll find different things when I build a new unit with longer mandrels that we'll be using. So I'll have to figure out where to get them. All the bar stock that I need, all the different sizes. That one got crazy wild. I don't know if the camera picked that. It was shaking and shimmying. Shaking and shimmying. I probably need at least another, maybe another hour tonight to get the rest of these finished up that I want to do. To have it prepared for tomorrow. I'm going to spend about half an hour turning everything around, getting the pumps out and everything ready for the ringinator. Shake there at the end. Yeah, probably could be, because that's the other thing with my current setup. I had a few blocks that I could put in for different sizes, but when I had to change drills, it changed my hole direction. So nothing from my other stuff was quite working the same. Like I said, it was still good to do the job, get the job done, but it's just a little different. And something that I'd like to change, I think I'm just going to go with a V in the top instead of having hole sizes, but make this part adjust up and down so I can adjust it to the drill. And I'm going to make a much better base for the drill unit. If I end up changing before this drill goes out, I'm going to make a new one using the wall. And I don't know, I might see if I contact Martin over there at Ringinator and maybe just get this drill part, see if I can get where the Ringinator drill sits in, because it's actually not bad. It's not too bad of a holder. I could probably find something somewhat similar locally, maybe. I want something that definitely has more on the side. My other drill was flat, more flat on the top. This one has more rounded, so that's why I didn't like to sit very well. Another shout out. I forgot it was last weekend because it was last Saturday, not a couple days ago, Saturday before. Had a birthday party over at my daughter's house for my granddaughter, Aria. She turned 4. Well, it was a birthday party. Her birthday wasn't actually until Thursday, just a few days ago, Thursday. But she had a together birthday party for both the kids. Because Bubby's was a few weeks before, and ours was a few weeks after, a few days after. So I went to the party, but her birthday was a few days ago, so happy birthday, happy 4th birthday to Aria, my granddaughter. I've given all the kids their set-out birthdays this year, if I remember them. That's the biggest thing is remembering them. Remembering my own is hard enough. Come on. Alright, fine. Be a pain, be a pain. I'll deal with you if I have to. This gap is just so small right there. Gotta work it just right. So we're up to 4. Yeah, it was, I don't know, I probably got into about an hour today of coiling, and my drill stopped, and I was like, well, finally kicked the bucket. I was a little underwhelmed, because I was like, when it kicks the bucket, I hope it's going to, give me a good burnt smell at least. Yeah, I didn't smell nothing. I'm like, what in the world's going on? I guess it just went bad, so I was starting to unplug everything, and I happened to be kneeled down next to the cart here, next to the drill, and I happened to look at the trigger finger, and I realized that after 10 minutes of okay, I'm gonna have to just unwire everything. Come on, man. After that, the trigger finger had come off. The little side button released it, so there was no power getting to it. And so I had to rewire everything back up, and then it worked just fine. I was like, you thing. I broke that right off there, didn't I? Yeah, I sure did. I sure enough did. This one's just being a pain. I know. I'm going to give you the worst start ever here. You're going to conform, right? Conformity. But again, I do thank everybody for dropping in, checking us out. If you watch us live, or if you watch us later. I know we're not, hugely popular. We don't have a ton of people that follow us, but I do appreciate anybody that drops in, checks us out, all that. I do, I'm here just to have fun. Keeps me busy. Otherwise, I'd still be busy. You just wouldn't know it. That was one of the reasons why I decided to start doing the streaming. I got tired of taking the same pictures, the same stuff over and over and over again. So that's why, like I said, part of it was because of the project we were working on. The other part was, I flip back over to the other camera. Oh well, we're close enough now. I'm not going to worry about flipping back over. Need to do some adjusting to the hole lining up. Is wanting to pull it. You see when I release it, it's wanting to really keep this drill down. So I want the V and then make this part adjustable up and down. I'd have a lot better control over that, I think, anyway. And especially, I don't want to get too crazy if I'm going to go to 4-foot mandrels. I don't need to have 4 foot of that all wiggle wangling everywhere. That'd be a little insane. It's at 2, 4, 6, 7. This would be number 8. So we got 2 more. Where are we at on our time? We're right at our hour. That one was real floppy. But not far enough apart gap wise. Like I said, I don't let them get too far apart, but there needs to be a decent amount. When I could have a hard time putting a piece of paper between it, even though they're not super tight, that's still decent enough. It's within the tolerances that I'll allow. I just got to remember to keep pressure on. I wonder if, a lot of those other people use the other things. Like I said, this was actually cheaper for me to build. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't have been. It just happened to be at the time. I had somebody that had working in a CNC place. They were replacing their rails. Happened to have it. I got them, like I said, cheaper than I could have gotten drawer pulls. So that's why I went this route. Like I said, there's some things I don't necessarily like about it, but it's doing the job. It gets it done slowly but surely. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. This will make number 10. So that'll give us about close near 4,000 rings on those, but I didn't need a lot on that size anyway. Go ahead and pull a chair up here, and we'll get in here and do our closing. I do thank you all again for dropping in. If you dropped in, I don't see any messages. I didn't look a whole lot tonight, so hopefully I didn't miss any comments anywhere. If I did, I always apologize for missing any if I do. I'm going to continue to work on this after stream tonight, get the rest of these coiled up, and I'm still working on the tutorial. That's what I was kind of going back and forth there for a little bit of time today, just because when you're staring at that screen, working on it for a while, I think I had about 4 hours in straight with like one potty break, and I was like, I need a break. So tonight is Monday. We will be back on Wednesday. Feeling good, so should be no problem for Wednesday stream. Probably going to work on something in stainless steel. Pulled out the welder again probably. So otherwise, again, I hope you all had a great weekend. I do thank everybody for dropping by tonight. And you all have a great rest of your evening and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, I guess, before we see you again. We'll be back on Wednesday night. So you all have a great night. Peace. And I got to come up here and turn it off now.